We are going to be getting the action underway here on Overpass. First round underway. Here we go with the pistol. We're seeing the decoys again for Gambit. It's the decoy squad. They lost the first pistol on train. Still managed to dominate on the map. See if they can start off even better here on Overpass.
Yeah, remember, we have to remember, of course, that they did also win out the Force by rather following it. So if we see Winstrike this time take the pistol, they just need to make sure they can capitalize on it. And I mean, it's not starting too well. Kristen needs to go huge, and he can't. They have been overrun within seconds of me saying that this pistol round needs to go better for them. Having a look at the odds there as well, 6.99 for Winstrike, 1.02 for Gambit. So yeah, I think most people at this point are feeling pretty confident that this is Gambit's game. But we'll see what can be done. Of course, the pistol round, it looks like it should go their way pretty much uncontested. Elian has got that 1 kill, of course, but at this point is probably just hoping to maybe even save his Kevlar. Perhaps add a little bit extra money by picking off a player or two if they hunt them down. But Winstrike, are they going to come through with the force buy? If not, we just need to see them come alive early. At the very least, at that first gun round. Again, can't afford to give up such a massive lead as they had in the beginning of Train going down 6-1. Especially when now you're on the CT side.
The problem for Winstrike in that pistol round is that worked out exactly the way they wanted it to, and they still lost. They put a heavy push through the construction tunnel, right? And the idea there is that you want to catch Gambit doing exactly what they did. You bisected the take. 2 players were already past the tunnel. 2 players were behind it. So then those 2 players are coming through behind it. That's who you want to punish. You want to catch those 2 kills. Maybe get that 3rd player. You've dropped the bomb in the back line. Suddenly the guys who are on site can't do anything about it. That was exactly the look that they wanted for the pistol round that they ran. Exactly the look. And they lost the fight, right? I mean, it was really impressive pistol play from Gambit. It happens, but if you're calling up the right read, if you're calling up the exact right play and you can't get it done, it doesn't bode well. Just the pistol.
It's probably trouble then. I mean, those Glocks up close, though, we see how scary they could be. I like this little stack that's coming in at the moment. Unfortunately, they're not actually going to find the fight itself on towards long. And if Gambit just keep on walking quietly up through short, they could just walk straight onto that A bomb site. But they are setting up some utility. So once they start throwing that in, at least then Elian should be able to get the info. And then we'd maybe see the other players start moving forward from their current positions. Or even now. Unfortunately, they had actually left Axile to hold on. Taking in further, though, could be a risk. That's an AK now that's going to be retrieved, potentially. They don't know how quickly they can move in for it, because expecting rather more players around that corner. So by the time they get it, of course, the bomb has already gone down. But that, what the hell? You know you dropped an AK at the end of long. Why would you go out and take that fight so aggressively? I don't know. A 3-on-3 at this point. Thankfully, there's no kit for Winstrike. But if they move quickly, this is certainly still winnable.
Capping that molly too. It's exposed, but Chiro realizes that he threw it a bit too deep. He plays around it nicely, and if he can get the follow-up, he can't. But there's the trade. Inter's found the space in towards bathrooms. Now there's not much Chrising can do about this. They'll get the upgrade to the Deagle, but at this point they're coming hunting him. I don't know that you want to take this fight around Rock. But they do. That was a little bold. That could have gotten far too spicy if you're a Gambit fan. To be quite frank, playing around that Rock, playing against the Deagle, and you're just out in the open, all it takes is one shot to the dome, and suddenly you're in a very tough position. Yes, Winstrike may not have even been able to win the round, but if you bleed out everybody alive, it's interesting. 4 nades, 5 nades. Yes, nade stack. Nade stack, Dean, my favorite play in Counter-Strike. Let's see where they go with it. The traditional one is out Fountain. We see a lot of teams run that, but we got players coming down towards lower, so that's not going to be happening. Where are they going to drop this airstrike down? Wherever it is.
Are they going to wait?
They're not going to find anyone right now.
No, maybe they feel like they have a bit of a read here. Unfortunately, as you said, not going to find anyone. They're all walking out mid right now on the side of Gambit.
Wrong language.
I'm glad they're not just straight up tossing them out, preempting like a rush or something anyway, because they'll still have them here in theory then if they want to move back up, try and throw some nades in from below A before moving in for a bit of a retake, having a CZ and some USPs if they can damage down 1 or 2. Maybe they can still get a couple of kills. But yeah, the gamble that they've taken here definitely hasn't paid off. And I mean, it's in the name. It is a gamble. Unfortunately, it's not always going to work out, but let's see what can be done. Hobbit on the Mac 10, he definitely wants to get as many of these frags as he can. The one man rocking the SMG at the moment for Gambit, so he has a chance to try and build up that bank. And yeah, by the time they realize it's A, unfortunately, they don't even really want to move back in that direction. Just try and avoid feeding too much money over to that SMG in the hands of Hobbit. They're going to realize now where he is, so we'll see what they can do about it. But yeah, of course, this round is going to be won out by Gambit. They're going to head up 3-0. No, I didn't mind the nades. Unfortunately, not going quite deep enough.
They needed 1 or 2 more, and they'd already dropped those, obviously. And even then, even if that works, you take out Hobbit, and he's got a MAC-10. Big deal. He's actually going to bail off to avoid giving them the MAC-10? I'm surprised he didn't hunt this more aggressively to get the money. Try and lure them in, maybe to die towards the bomb. In fact, he's going to, but like he doesn't care yet. None of that matters. Still, Winstrike will be headed into their gun round. They got nothing out of it, but as you said, Dean, they rolled the dice. They went for the gamble. They flipped a coin. Coin came up on the wrong side. Oh, yeah, look at those impressive stats. 1 kill. 1 kill.
1
That's
kill, 100 damage, and 110 ADR. How does that work?
I think he may have lightly tagged someone with a MAC-10 as he was crossing back out.
Okay, maybe, yeah. Must have been just something very small. I don't know how I got confused by that. That makes complete sense. I was just silly. But yeah, the MAC-10 has been kept over. I was wondering if there was going to be helmets, and yeah, they seem to have gone for them just because of the fact that Hobbit did survive with that MAC-10. Obviously, it limits their nades, but if they're going to just go ahead and catch 2 opening kills within 15 seconds or so at a round beginning, then that's not going to be too big of an issue. Nafani and Hobbit being removed early on, and they were 2 biggest fraggers back on that previous map for Gambit. So those are certainly big finds. Let's see what Gambit can do to try and salvage this back. They have some money in the reserve. They have enough for the buy anyway. So even if they don't win this round, if they can try and at least make a costly, then it could still be worthwhile.
I think they're going to go for the boost up to peek in towards barrels. That's what's going to happen here. They might spot the player pillars. I don't think anyone's currently set up to be taken advantage of. But let's see. Okay, here's the hop up. X-ray. Oh, he's dropped down. He hasn't found it. No one was really in a spot. They're all guarded by the pillar. It's actually a really good setup to anticipate that boost from Winstrike. So there's nothing doing here. And they're even bringing a 4th player down to reinforce. I think just off of that 1 drop they heard. What was that nade? Holy cow. That was a 70 damage nade.
Normally we see 4 damage nades. Oh. Good trade by Axel. Can he get the 2nd player? He does know Kristen's here, and there we go. Now they've got a bit of an opening forward. A bomb plant would be fantastic, but unfortunately still have to deal with Nickelback. They weren't able to. But the 2 kills isn't too bad. The nade damage helped them out a little bit as well, eventually finishing off Kristen. Yeah,
and they don't receive the op.
Oh yeah, they actually didn't. Good point. That is very costly. They're obviously not going to have enough to get that back now, and they might have a weaker weapon. Do they have all the rifles on the ground? Does Elian have one? Yeah, there we go. He at least has the M4 for himself. So, I mean, it doesn't limit them too much, but all their money goes into this reinvestment. And as we had mentioned, Gambit could rebuy. So they were happy with the 2 kills. They ended up just about kind of scraping together at the end. So this is a big round. Winstrike cannot afford to drop this. They would be letting Gambit run away with a massive T lead if they do. And look at this from Nickelback, straight out towards the fountain. He does have a bit of support, but they're behind the smoke at the moment. They're not actually pushed out towards him. Instead, watching for that party peek, I believe, and oh, the flash was perfect. Inters delivers the opening, and nade goes in at least to try and return some damage from Winstrike, but they are going to be forced to fall back off and likely play a little bit more passively. Lucky, did he try to aggress through connector, I believe? Yeah, and he's been punished for that. Oh, and it's just crumbling. I mean, nothing at all right now is being found for Winstrike. B is completely open. Gambit gonna run the bomb in now and get it planted, and honestly, a save has to be called for. Even with that, they're obviously not gonna have enough to get a buy-in.
This is a catastrophe. This is a really bad situation to find yourself in. And it's reminiscent as well in terms of pure scoreline of Train, where you're starting to get your number read. You finally got one, but you didn't save a lot through. Not finding that op in the previous round is a big mistake, especially considering it was right next to them. I mean, it's not like Elian died somewhere strange and foreign. No, he died right next to his teammates. That op was definitely retrievable. It's a little mistakes like that to tell me that maybe some of the communication, maybe some of the coordination here is starting to crumble under pressure, crack under strain. It's the little things that if you do that against a team like Gambit, they are going to punish you every day of the week. And we see it here. 5 players alive for Gambit. They're hunting for these guns. They can smell blood in the water, and like a hungry shark, they're going to close in on their prey. Winstrike, I don't even think they can justify investing around these guns, but they're going to. They're going to do it. They're going to buy up the rifles. They're going to drop everything that they can to invest into this round. They won't have the op again, of course. They'll have utility. They do have kits, which is nice. This actually winds up looking a lot better than I expected. Lackey's the one player who gets stuck holding the buck. Working with that CZ instead. But Gambit. Before, they got the vital shot. Now, This could really be where they start to apply some pain.
Yeah, this it's getting out of control already. It's in a ridiculous position. As we said, this lead is probably even more convincing than what they had in the beginning of Train, because at least there they were on the CT side. So it was a bit more expected, and they just walk into B. The flash is over. The short aggression had come in from Winstrike to try and hold on to this area, but unfortunately that doesn't work out, and they're still being kicked apart. There's eventually falls, but I don't think they're too worried considering they've now finally got full control of B. So the bomb's going to go down, and I feel like Bondic again is just off saving. There's not really much that he can do. Instinctively went to hit number 1 so I could check exactly where he was. Used to having control over the game.
I'm doing the exact same thing the entire time. Every time I click back on
I'm like, why would the scoreboard come up? But yeah, no, he's saving anyway. Not really. Oh, no, he may not be. Hang on, he's about to have a clash in bank. Yeah, Hobbit ends up actually getting that kill over there. So yeah, no weapons carried over. And as you said, this time that actually does completely break down the economy. The previous one had put them in an awkward spot, but that one puts them onto an eco and allows now Gambit to go up 6-1. And being here on the T side of Overpass, that is just already a very comfortable lead to have, with, of course, the chance for them to add quite a bit more still. And we see that pause, yeah, from Winstrike. They need a bit of a chat, but it's probably mostly focused on the next round.
I mean, Winstrike just aren't finding the damage. Of the players on Gambit, only one player has died even 3 times, and that's Axel, who's second on the team in frag, so he's doing great. Nobody's died more than twice. They're just not getting the damage. They're not getting the pressure on. The entries are working out beautifully, and then they're trading well. This is very dire for Winstrike, especially considering they're on the CT side. I think a couple things need to change. First of all, they need to get that AWP up reliably, even the double up, perhaps, because something has to change in terms of firepower. It looks like Nickelback's going to be the player that saves for that. Stuck on the PT50 flash. Surprised by the amount of investment we've got in here, but we've got the max loss bonus coming in, so I suppose that they'll be comfortable with the money they got coming in. Utility will burn a lot of players. Lackey tries to walk through the flames, and he loses most of his health in turn as a result. This is completely stacked for a construction play. They've got 2 players in connector, 1 guy push deep construction, 2 players watching monster. They are hoping for a B hit. And unfortunately for them, Gambit appears to be doing their scouting over towards long. They find his control towards long and towards the path. What's going to happen? Hobbit is going to just be punishing players here in con. They want to chase down his gun, and he says, you know what? No. You don't get this. You don't get any of this. Why is he dropping back down, Dean? Why?
It was his hopper hole.
Okay.
He wanted to go back into his hopper hole.
He's just gifted an AK. Oh my, why?
Yeah, no, that was a bit silly. There's Kevlar as well on 3 of the players. If they can get that to Grizzin, then that AK could cause some serious damage, man. No, that was wild from Hobbit. Should have been happy enough to concede that 1 kill, concede rather the control of connector with that 1 kill he had found. Definitely would have been a worthwhile trade-off, and instead now it gets a little bit riskier. In theory, though, they should still be winning out the round. Let's see how it goes. Time-wise, just under 40 seconds. Lucky, thankfully, only had the CZ, so he's only able to get 1, but there is still players in position on B. They've stacked it up at the moment, but I don't think it's helping them out too much. Good control initially by Axel. It was actually Shiro who got that 2nd kill, and he puts an end to it as well. But it ends up coming down way too close, with only 2 players surviving. So, I mean, that's one of the closer rounds we've seen from Winstrike so far. But they need to start capitalizing on it, because even with that damage, they still need to take 2 in a row to actually break down the money of Gambit. So they have a pretty tough challenge ahead of them right now. They really need to get a quick U-turn on their performance and manage to ideally pull this half back to 9-6. That would be what they're aiming for.
I gotta say, I do love the polo jerseys. I've always loved the polo jerseys for Gambit. It's just so different to what every other team does.
Wear that on a cold winter day, like, keep you warm.
It makes them look like the rich school in a plucky underdog sports movie.
The posh CS team.
Yeah, they're coming in. There's the whole Bondic. Oh, he caught that flashbang, but he's patient. Love this patience from Bondic. He's gonna catch 1. Can he get any more? Nope, just the 1. But shut down connector. Now they have to come in towards this B hit. See if his teammates can hold on. They can for the moment. There's the exchange. Shiro does find some damage, but he's looking for more. He wants at least 1 more kill. These so many flashes. He's just been blinded up. He's got the pressure on, and that Bondic kill is huge because it means he can't back out. He's got to fight this. He'll go to the rifle to try and find a little bit more. If he can get 1 more kill, it's worth it for him. Ooh. 44 seconds to work it, Dean. Just one more kill is all he needs, really, to apply this pressure, to keep up the economic pressure. They're not going to win this round. Well, I say that. It's Shiro. They could win this round. He's going to try, certainly. He's going to work his way around, and Bonnick's gone deeper into the site. That's a smoke, though, at a critical time. He has to move through it if he wants this. Time is so much of the essence. And he's just revealed his spot. The one thing he had working for him, the one element of surprise, no longer there, so he'll try and regroup. Might actually just be going back towards that op, and he will hit the first shot. That's huge. Bondic goes down as well. That's a bomb plant. Oh, I changed my mind. Shiro can do it all. How dare I doubt the young god? No, he doesn't plant? What are you doing, Shiro?
He thought he would have been close. He thought he would have been close. He presumed they had it stacked. Unfortunately, not. I mean, he still has money, so it's not too big of a deal that he doesn't get the plant and survives. But yeah, he could have had a chance to win that round. But still, as you had said, in the first place, he shouldn't have been winning that. He shouldn't have been winning that in the first place. So I think Winstrike can kind of count themselves a little bit lucky with that one there that he didn't stick the bomb plant, because it could have been scary in the one-on-one. But they still took way too much damage. Look at their buy here. Look after they reinvest. Look at the weapons that they have. They have very little left over as well. Yeah, no, they're in trouble. If they end up losing this, they're just going to be back onto an eco again unless they're able to save some weapons over at the very least. So this, again, is just Gambit looking to try and bounce immediately back, and with that, they would be able to continue on controlling the game. So Winstrike, they need to take it up another level here in this round, if I'm being honest.
Look, I agree with you that in the long run, that was still a phenomenal round from Shiro in terms of the economic pressure he puts on. Even if he doesn't win the round, he's doing great. But I am personally bummed that we didn't get a Shiro 1v3 clutch 4K clip. It was so close to happening, and he just doesn't go for the bomb plan. And to me, that's maybe a little bit of, he's a younger player. He's a young god, but he's still gaining that experience. Still marinating, if you will, to meet his final form. He goes to close the door's been blown off. I don't know if you noticed that little detail. He's like, close the door behind me. Oh, no, it's gone.
My mom used to always say to me, were you raised in a barn? Because I'd always leave doors open. So maybe being raised on Overpass would have been good. Would have just blown the doors off. Never had to worry about it. Not funny, though. Gets one on Lackey as the smoke faded away. There was a flash that came over. I don't think it blinded anyone, but it did slow down the push a little bit. It may have blinded Inters for a moment, but it didn't take out the player, at least who had got the initial kill. So it is, for now, 4-on-4. Again, the weapons being a little bit weaker overall for the CT side, but they are beginning to rotate that third player back down towards B, so they're going to have the numbers in position. Nickelback, was he spotted? I think the barrel may have given him away. Yeah, look, 100% focused in. Inters will get the kill. They got a little bit dangerous there. I wasn't too sure he was going to win it out, but that should give them A now, unless Elian can pop out. Actually, he has a player towards Optimus as well, and yeah, it's unlocked.
Okay.
Good work by Elian. They're getting that trade. Damn, I mean, there was just so little time. They had actually started making their way back down connector towards B already, and then at the last moment, as they heard the player rotating through the CT spawn, I think they were like, oh damn, there's probably at least 2, maybe 3 players here, so they decided to go back up, and they just didn't really have the time, unfortunately, unless they got those kills instantly.
Gambit's going to invest into this, so they know how much pressure they've been keeping up, just the amount of kills they've been able to peel away from these rounds. They know that they can crack the CT economy, and that's definitely the case, but bit by bit, Winstrike have been holding up to these rounds. It's a bit of a bait setup. Here's the peek off of the flashbang. There's 2 players tight into the corner. Can Hobbit find this? No, he can't. Huge kill for Prison. He'll get traded, but he's done enough to perhaps keep Nickelback safe. And Nickelback's now waiting for that hit to come in. They're not going to expect a second player on the spot, and he'll even bring reinforcements in. With the damage on Axel, I'd say this exchange definitely favors the CTs, especially considering they've dropped one of the rifles in a likely unretrievable position. They've got an SMG of their own. So now Gambit, they're taking a moment. They'll get that gun back. They've got to escape with it. And at any moment, Winstrike could pop into this peak, and the pressure could be on. The response here from Gambit is to send 2 players out long, make some noise over towards A, try and draw this kill on Bondic. They're going to go for a run boost to find it. And maybe that'll draw the focus away from B, because right now Winstrike are still as statues, and there's not going to be a lot of time. If they continue to stick to this, there's going to be no opportunity to rotate if they do actually take A. Making the noise, flashbanging towards bathrooms. Here comes the clear. They haven't spotted it just yet. Smoke out towards long. This forces the rotation. Elian has to move. Can't leave his teammate alone. Now the site might be ripe for the pick, and as they start to shift 1 player down connector, they're not going to leave themselves any margin for error on this. Shiro can't go hunting with the bomb this time around, and this time he's dropped. There's the trade as well, or the second rather, not a trade. Now this round is over. 12 seconds. There's no way Gambit can fight back through it. They need to die, Dean. They need to die in time. 6 seconds. You don't want to save a Deagle.
Oh.
Maybe Nafany can justify it, and he's going to have to. With the Galil in the armor.
He doesn't have a chance. You've got to try and find some positives in saving it right there, even if it's not the ideal situation. It's unfortunate. I mean, are they going to buy around it? I would hope not. They're up 6-4 right now. They can afford to take an eco. Well, I mean, Nafany can't all that much, although they do have a bit of loss bonus going. So if they get the bomb down, I think they'd be okay. Yeah, they're at 2,900 loss bonus. I'm still getting used to looking at this UI. So with the bomb planted, they would be fine for everyone to get the buy. So they can maybe get a few pistols, body armor even perhaps onto a couple of the players behind this Galil. Try and, again, just keep the damage on as they have been. And then look to get back into winning ways on that next gun round. But yeah, I mean, it does still, as I said, come down to needing the bomb plant to ensure that Nafany can get the buy in the next round. So he needs to try and actually make that Galil worthwhile. A couple of kills or so. But yeah, the pause has been removed. We're not seeing too much investment behind us so far. But we'll see what they can do either way. Want to ensure, I suppose, that their buy in this next round is the best possible. Already having that damage on as well, knowing that they have the Galil to do a couple of kills, to try and get a couple of kills. They don't have to spend too much on their own pistols and such. So yeah, we'll see how this goes. Nice deep molly there to try and keep the control of mid away from the T's for as long as possible. But Nafany, he didn't really care, he just bypassed it.
They've been given a lot of space towards A, and that's been the case for the past couple of rounds. We've seen the heavy stack early on for Winstrike, and they're just trusting Bondic. Trusting Bondic to either do what he can or to call for the rotation in time. That's a lot of faith put on, but it doesn't mean that if a fast play comes through here and he loses his head, suddenly that's a bomb plant. A dangerous post scenario, and they're going to come pouring out, but he did call the rotation. Nickelback's the sacrificial lamb. He's lost to the rifle, but this should be a shutdown. And a second kill will continue to make these rounds expensive, but Bondic has the cleanup. 4 kills in total for him. Easy peasy. He even retrieves the AK to have for his squad, and Winstrike are back into this game. Just 1 round away from the tie-up scoreline. Yes, we'll have an investment here from Gambit, but Winstrike are so close to making a game of this.
Yeah, this is what we needed. I had said they needed a quick U-turn, and since that point, they have given us exactly that. They've been able to turn things around perfectly. I mean, the rounds could be a little bit... They could be more convincing just to give themselves the security of having that economy in the bank onto everyone, which they don't right now. Again, still in the position where 1 gun round from Gambit could force them onto an eco. Oh, Prison didn't even get that kill. He was actually helped out instead by Axile finishing off Hobbit. He did then take down Axile, so he didn't have a chance to even make up for the team kill, as a man advantage has been extended and then brought back pretty quickly, but they can still hang on to the 3-on-2 as they fall back out of there. And yeah, at this point can probably just play things a little bit more standard. They also have the op soloing around A the entire time he's been posted up, just watching the pop-out connector. So he's been trying to keep some info, but oh, he wants to go forward just as Shiro and also Inters are coming in through mid. Let's see what he can catch. He is going to take the peek. He'll find the rifle player first, but the shot is missed. Just needs to back away at this point and stay alive so his teammates can rotate up now. Oh, but he goes down. He gave them a bit of time. But let's see.
I don't know that it was worth it. Just needed to tuck in and wait for one of these rifles to get back up by the dumpster, but they're going to have a pincer in. There's the flank on. Now they got to deal with it. Nickelback's forced out towards long. Here's going to be the bomb plant, but that was a little bit too soon. They assume because their player was coming up behind him that Lackey might not be in spot just yet, and I don't think Yinters is going to be able to find this. 7 points of health. The AWP in his hand. So he's just got to isolate these shots, but if he goes to the sidearm, that's definitely not the ticket. Glock will not do you here. He wants a little bit more speed. Might be able to find this player exposed, and indeed he is. So the punishment comes in, certainly. It's going to be an expensive round regardless of what happens, but now it's just down to Lackey. He's got control of the bomb, though, in 10 seconds, and I think Inters is just going to save this AWP. He's done the damage. He's looking for that last kill if he could find it, and Lackey says, you know what? I'm not going to move, guys. I am not going to move. He will die after time, though. A full wipe for Gambit. Yes, Winstrike have tied up, but look at how much money they're going to need to pour back into this round just to get their buy going through, and meanwhile, Gambit will be bringing the hurt once more.
Yeah, I mean, that weapon would have been pretty helpful. You see Lackey now limited down to the MP9. Obviously, dying after time didn't make much of a difference on the CT side, but it's still just an awkward position to be in. But, yeah, I mean, again, they're not taking these rounds anywhat cleanly. That's the issue. Gambit are on 6, which is already a decent enough overpass D side on its own. But if they can get one more, then they'd likely get a second off it as well, and at that point would head up towards 8. So Winstrike need to keep this up for the final 3 rounds. And I don't like when it coming down to those close clutches every single time. It's a scary position, and yeah, of course, with no one surviving even for Winstrike, just making it as hard as possible, Gambit, even if they aren't winning the rounds. But early on, they've got themselves that slow control around the B water. Nothing too crazy coming in. It seems like mostly just the default. They've also got one player in connector, with the main forces there for Gambit focused around getting control towards A. And it seems like they want to do so through long. At the moment, though, Winstrike not really holding it. They have Bondic on the back along, just kind of spotting it every now and again. But he won't see them unless they actually start peeking around that corner. So we'll see how this goes. Gambit, they've got themselves some very good control early on. The options are all open pretty much.
It's impressive to me that Winstrike have been able to hold off on this pressure, right? Because they've done themselves no favor. Every round it's been risky. Every round it's like, okay, if we lose the economy here, we're done. But they're just gutting it out through these, and now they've run so many in a row. It's impressive. Grace under pressure, I suppose would be the terminology. 2 players upper. Now they're going to be bringing a third in as well, and that's a good call. Ram through the smoke, trying to connect some damage. Does a ton onto Inters. He doesn't even realize it, I don't think, and now Nafani's gotten through the smoke. They're not going to know this. That's a kill found. That's now a second as the communication isn't there instantly. Takes them a moment to realize what's happened. They don't expect Nickelback here, but certainly Nickelback's going to be traded now. He's got his teammate, though, and Kristen came up at just the right time. He'll lose his life, but it's Nickelback on a 1v2, and they've given him a chance with only 7 seconds to go. The pressure's on. They just got to find the kill. But the punish comes in. Axile, 4 seconds to spare. Makes it happen. Just when he needed to. And this is the round. This is the round that broke the camel's back. Winstrike, they kicked that can of economic ruin down the road so many times, Dean. And we knew this threat was looming. This axe was hanging right over their hands, and now it's swung.
Yeah, there was a crack in that can they were kicking along, and it finally just broke apart. It took a while, but yeah, we said they're screwed now. The economy's ruined, okay? Yeah, they have a double eco even on the 2 of the players there, so they're taking the eco now, but it still won't give them a perfect buy in the next round. So this is suddenly just giving Gambit a fantastic chance to maybe even come out with the 9-6 half on the T side, but at the very least 8-7. So they're going to be getting themselves that lead and at least putting a little bit of a break to the momentum that Winstrike were kind of starting to build up by having taken what was a 5 rounds in a row. So yeah, I mean, it's scary for Winstrike. That's the issue of having such a slow start. Even though they had managed to come back there with a great kind of streak of rounds on their CT side, they had given too much away before. So they're still in a very tough spot. But let's see what can be done. At the moment, it seemed to be calling for a bit of a stack around the B side of the map, I believe. I think Alien might be in connector. No, he's outside of it, sorry. So yeah, it is mostly just the B stack coming in. They have Bondic up on A with the Deagle, so he can take some of those longer ranged angles, maybe try and take a head or 2 with him. But I'm not expecting much to be found. Gambit haven't even taken any damage up to this point. They should have a pretty straightforward time just moving forward as long as they can trade each other out. Oh, okay, he just got the back of Hobbit. Didn't even need the headshot. Had enough time to get the bullets all towards the body. But now he needs his teammates on B to find success. At least long enough for him to try and relocate that M4, which he attempted, but it was very quickly taken out of his hands, and Axel cleans it up. So there we go. 8-6 Gambit. They get that round as we expected. Got a little bit scarier there with Shuro and Inters both being low. But it doesn't really matter too much. And even the 1 kill that they did give away, to them anyway, doesn't matter because they have enough to reinvest into this final round and a half. Although it would have been nice if they had that bit of extra money maybe to upgrade Inters off of the Galil, but not the end of the world.
We've seen a couple of these rounds though from Hobbit where he's solo in connector and
did you not hear the door open?
I don't know. I don't know how he didn't hear that or react to it. And honestly, Here's the thing: unarmored USP, even after he gets that first shot, I don't know how you don't get. I don't know how you don't get the turn kill. We didn't get to watch the end of it, but
he might have dinked them with the first shot and then finished them to the body. To be fair,
yeah, that's probably it. That's got to be it. Here's gonna be pressure on Kristen. Is the only player towards me, and they're coming, but he's holding up. It's raining. It's pouring. Kristen's got an umbrella. The umbrella's an M4. Yes, they've lost the site. Yes, they've given up the bomb plant, but Kristen has given them a real, honest-to-God chance in this round. But here's the difference maker for them. Inters is coming back late. Now, this should be known. Love that deep Molotov in towards construction to keep his teammates safe. I think it actually airbursted, though. Such a good idea, but it air popped. That's a bummer. No, it is blooming now. I don't know what's happening.
Was that a new one? I think they dropped down a new one. But yeah, he's gonna have 3 players peeking him, and unfortunately doesn't expect Alien to spawn. So that's a good trade for Winstrike. Yeah, I mean, there's no molly down now at this point, so they will finally start to get moving forward, but they actually don't have a kit, I don't believe, so that's a bit of an issue, and their numbers just diminishing is probably the bigger problem of the two right now that they have. Shiro, he puts a stop to it, there we go, is able to hit the headshot. That was close, he was extremely low health, but there we go, guys, 9-6 at the halftime. Gambit, they managed to come out with those final 3 rounds, they get back their lead, and we're going to find out if they can close this out, of course, after the break, guys. Make sure you stick with us.
This is it, this is not a drill, hold nothing back, it's sure to kill. In this leap of faith that you're in me too, you stand alone, but I'll watch over you. The clock is ticking, the clock is ticking, a single second could mean everything. Time is running, the time is running out. Don't give up, don't give in, don't let me down. Be the one to wipe their grin when they hear the sound. Don't give up, don't give in before they catch a glimpse. I know you'll find the strength within. This is your last chance. Now's your time to shine. Make it count. Honor our sacrifice. And now this is your last chance.
Rising out the ashes, coming from the ether. All I hear is static. Breathe a little deeper. Fallen, broken, a million light years away from home. My eyes opened, and now I've come to claim life. Oh, never let it go. These wings carry me. Live.
We are back, guys. Of course, we seen Winstrike at one point there in the first half managing to come back to life for a while, but unfortunately with Gambit taking those final 3 rounds, they managed to come out with a 9-6 T side. So Winstrike are still going to have a very difficult time ahead of them now. This pistol round is a must-win for them. And it looks like we're going to find action pretty soon because Axile is going forward. At least initially. He didn't get any info though, so that's probably going to keep the 4-man B stack in place. So this could potentially work against them.
Could. I wonder if he hears these footsteps coming through. He'll bring a second player up over towards the jump up position. That'll be Hobbit coming to reinforce. So they actually have a decent setup as they come through. The problem is the players in bathrooms are going to be tough. Axel can't find that, and he actually gets shot in the back of the head as well. Really nice play from Alien and Krisen. They both isolate the fights. Their opponents don't get a chance to shoot back. Now bomb's down. They'll have the retake, but you got to get this guy out of con first, and he doesn't win his fight, so it's all over. Inter's now all alone. There's just nothing you can do. There's nothing you can do. He's actually going to back off and save the kit. We saw this, or the armor, rather. We saw this from them on train, where when they realized it was a hopeless pistol round, they bailed. Said, you know what? That's 650. That's worth it for us. We'll see if Inters can find one as they come out with a clear for him. Oh, he's been tagged. but he's gonna find at least that one. Now they're closing in. They want the damage. They're gonna give him back some more opportunities, and every kill he gets, that's extra money into the next round, Dean. That's a nade. That's a smoke. It's something to work with.
Ooh,
He's gonna get another. Okay.
She got
Inters.
Yeah,
So much
$900.
there.
Not bad, as well as the Kevlar, so that helps a lot with his force buy if they want to go for it. Are they going to go for it? I mean, Gambit have a bit of a lead here, so they could just aim to come out with the gun round as early as possible, although we always say, of course, that then leaves you with a few limitations. But I think Overpass is a map where you can maybe... You can manage with those limitations more than something like an Inferno or something, the lack of nades perhaps not being quite as big of an issue, where you can sacrifice down perhaps on one or two of those B players to get the nades by pulling out a FAMAS or maybe even SMGs. And yeah, that's what they're going for. Inters doesn't even bother to upgrade a pistol. I thought maybe we would have at least seen the P250 come out to go along with the body armor that he has. But they want everything they can possibly get in this next round. Optimize their chances, keep it at the highest possible, and look to try and again just shut out Winstrike before they can really get any real momentum going for themselves and before they really start building up any confidence. This has been a tough game for them so far. But hopefully this anti-eco anyway won't be too much of a struggle. As we said, with just the 5 USPs, they should be looking at a relatively clean round for themselves.
They're making all the right moves here, right? They're poking around in the bathrooms, having a sniff here, having a sniff there. Don't necessarily always want to have a sniff in the bathrooms, but no, this is interesting. Oh,
Maybe at a nightclub.
No. They've gotten the wrong idea. They've gotten the wrong idea, Dean. They made that noise towards bathrooms. They're like, okay, so certainly they're coming this way. Now we're gonna hit B. Haha, 3,000 IQ. Except everybody's here. Gambit haven't flinched.
No, yeah.
Just USPs, but this could be very interesting. Ooh, the first player spotted, but he still gets a dink. Kristen gets the second. Nice turn. Player Pillars has been for a world of hurt, but Inters already finds one kill. He's looking for more. He won't have that. 2 more threat spots they've been dealt with. Okay, so they walked into the stack. Look dangerous. But it turns out, Winstrike, they woke up feeling dangerous. They are gonna be able to take that. And I gotta say, I'm so impressed with them. After getting blown out of the water on train, they have been making a good run of it here on Overpass. Obviously, we haven't really seen Gambit's CT side yet. We're gonna see it this round. But at the very least, Winstrike are not going down without a fight.
No, they definitely shown us a side of themselves, as you said, than what we got from them back on train. We knew Overpass was a map they could play. I mean, as we had said, both teams in their matches against Ethereal had Overpass come out. I believe they both picked it as well. And Gambit, they got a 16-0. Winstrike got a 16-4. It's not quite the 16-0, but it's still a very one-sided game. So they're both certainly comfortable on the map. So it's good to see that Winstrike were able to get themselves off to a bit of a better start on this half, but not into this first gun round, unfortunately. Shuro and the Op decided to try and take some initiative early on around Long, and well, I mean, it was actually with Elian peeking into him, but either way, that helps them out a lot because of the lack of nades that they have, and because of the fact that they don't have a defuse kit. It takes quite a bit of pressure off them now.
Absolutely. And it also means that they can comfortably keep these 3 players in towards B. Have to be picked to find Prison. He already flicks to the second, and Hobbit lined it up. What a good flash from Lackey. Prison has been a monster coming out of the monster position, so he's lived up to its name. But I'm curious to see if that trend keeps continuing. Nafany, he was a god on train. We can see it again from him here on Overpass. Here's the creep around the pillar. Nafany spots one. He gets the kill. He knows the second player's there for the planter, but he backs off of it. They've done the damage on Prison. Now Prison's gone. Oh, it's all falling apart. Axile, 2 big kills. And Nafany is struggling. Oh, no! The time they wasted trying to find the bomb and the through just demolishes them. Where has that been all series long, Bondic?
It was waiting on round 18 or whatever it was, I guess. That is ridiculous. This third tray transfer, man. Nafany just couldn't find the bomb. He was in it for ages. It was a little bit to the side of him. What a round. That was massive from Bondic. That's probably going to give them the lead now. Damn. Okay, Bondic. Yeah, good. That's what we needed. You said, where was that all game? He wasn't playing bad by any means, but we certainly hadn't had any clutches on that level. That's going to light a fire under the ass of Winstrike right now, man. 100%.
That's huge. Okay, now no stumbles. One of the big issues on their CT side was just not being able to win rounds like this cleanly. Obviously, that's trickier on the other half. Nade's not effective so far. They bought 5 coming into this round from Gambit. Hasn't really worked out for them, and just methodically, Winstrike are clearing out the top of the bathrooms, top connector. They're coming back through. They're finding this pressure. They're finding this presence. And bit by bit, they're taking this round.
I'm still trying to reset my mind after that previous round.
You don't expect that explosion from Bondic, but he certainly has it.
Out of nowhere, what seemed like a round that was done and dusted for Gambit fell apart within seconds. Just one spray was all he needed. Didn't even have to stop. Transferred between the 3 of them. It was nasty. And yeah, I mean, Gambit obviously can't do too much in this round as they lose the bomb site. Although Winstrike being fairly careful, that was a good idea. It was that nade in play. He stepped into the second one, unfortunately, and takes a bit of damage, but they've already got the opening advantage, and I like that Lackey doesn't want to stick around fighting too much, although he comes back in now that he has a little bit of health coming down as well. I believe that's Nickelback. No, it's actually Bondic on the AK, so as that trade comes in, suddenly an AK is being given over. Oh, this is getting way too close. Hang on. I thought Nickelback was in trouble. No, he knows this player's around mid. Yeah, just hunts him down instead. So they've got back control at least of this area. Oh, apart from Hobbit. Hang on, he's coming through the long bathrooms now. Just about catches that kill. I don't think they should be able to win the round anyway, but Inters has got the AK that he can run away and save. And maybe Hobbit could catch another exit kill, try and add a bit more money to the bank.
Considering how little was brought into this is pretty good result. I don't think Hobbit really cares about saving this MAC-10. So as you said, he's likely going to try and threaten with this next one, but he'll withdraw, actually. We saw him rocking it on the T side, so maybe he's comfortable with the SMG. It's a decent play if you want to make a move in towards connector. You want to just keep a little bit of extra cash going through. We're going to have the ult coming out. That AK is the much bigger prize to find. But Winstrike have finally taken a lead. For the first time since the pistol round of map 1, if I'm not mistaken. That checks out, right? Yeah, that checks out. They've finally taken a lead. The Winstrike.
Yeah.
Clearer skies ahead.
Whew. I mean, yeah, no, I was actually rechecking that out on the stream, and I had to see it, it was only showing up. I had to rewatch Bondic's clutch as well. So it's kind of got me hyped up again. But yeah, Gambit, they need to get back into their winning ways here and now. Otherwise, I mean, Vertigo could start looking pretty likely again as a potential decider. Winstrike with some good control. Sure, I wanted to see if he could open things up there, of course, initially peeking through short. Wasn't able to, and that player outside Monster is in trouble as the nades come over. Hobbit's gone. Do they commit off that? They do have most of the players around this area, but not able to immediately follow up on it, which is probably ideal because they would have been running into a little bit of a stack. I'm pretty sure Shiro's still around heaven. So they do still have 3 players for now on that B side of the map. And with a minute remaining, rather, for Winstrike, they're not in a rush, as you can see. Moving back now, they'll look to try and move up through connector and also out through mid at the same time to get themselves that control. And will likely then be taking it towards A, but they've some time if they wanted to try and divert it back still. And yeah,
Control coming in. I like this deep position, though, for Axel. It's not a great spot to have the AUG, but he's got teammate to bait off of him. They're not going to check this. Oh, there's 1. There's 2. He's got 2 lined up. Big kills. The patience pays off. And now they got to deal with him, and they're not going to. Prison's dropped. This is a catastrophe. They don't have the time to deal with this. 15 seconds. 1 player alive, and Bondic is the last to fall. He can't pull off a crazy clutch this time. No 1v3s to be found, and it's tied up once more. Winstrike, they finally tasted the lead. And as soon as they taste it, it is ripped away from them. Oh, no. Now we can see a serious hurt coming in.
What a quad kill from Axel, though. On the AUG as well, of all weapons. He was rocking the AUG, man. 10 to 10. As you said, the lead has been taken away from Winstrike, but they haven't quite given it to Gambit yet. This round could be that one. This is actually potentially a round for both teams because neither of them really have much money in the bank. Whoever loses this is likely then looking at an eco, so this is a very crucial round as we start coming towards, well, the last 10 or so rounds of this map now. Early on, the T is not taking anything quickly. Instead, moving, well, I mean, relatively quickly in towards this B water control through what I call mini monster. What did you call it a while ago again?
Mini monster, monster, or construction tunnel, sewers.
Construction tunnel?
I've heard it called a few
Oh,
things.
that's a mistake from Alien. Yeah, I don't know. I've always just called it mini monster for some reason.
There's no monster on it, though.
Yeah, but it's like a mini version of Monster. So I don't know. It's just how I had people calling it around me when I was playing the game. So that's always the weird thing. Sometimes you have different calls to other people. But yeah, Alien of course gave them that opening kill, and now with that, they instantly again back off. It was towards B where they find the opening kill, similar to that previous round. Obviously that time it was with the nade though. But as soon as they get it, they move back towards A and start going in this direction. And if they move relatively quickly for now, there is only Shiro in position. They've actually gambled 3 towards B.
For the Aussies, I'm pretty sure that spot's Diggity.
Diggity, that's everything though, right?
Every call is Diggity. That's just my assumption. Shiro. Oh, do not tempt Shiro. Oh, they pulled him off of it. This is actually going to work out tremendously. He's just by the bank truck, but this is a very tough angle to hold if they bring in the pressure, and they're going to. That bomb could be planted. There's nothing Shiro can do about it. Love the utility usage, and Shiro actually just faltered through the smoke and goes. Nickelback hunting him down and making sure that op can't survive. So now this might be a save call for Gambit, and indeed I think it's going to be. I mean, you just see Inter is clearing out some space. They're going to back off of it. Question is, can Nafani get out of there? There's no easy way for him to do it. He has to be paranoid, checking multiple angles at any one time. But I think he's just about slipped off. They've lost Inters, though, so the pressure's coming back in. This is the crunch going to be in from the T side. Just Nafani and Axile trying to hang on here.
Yeah, it looks like they should be able to as well. There is a couple players coming around through Monster now, but they're too far away. I don't think they'll be able to reach them, indeed. So the weapons will be carried over for Gambit, but I had mentioned at the start of that round how important it was. Being able to at least save the weapons, I think, gives them the buy now. Yeah, thankfully it does, so they'll be able to reinvest in. Without it, they would have, of course, been in a bit of trouble, and likely at that point, Winstrike could have went from 12 to 10, but they still have a chance to do that, of course. If they win out this gun round, and maybe this time deny weapons from being saved over, perhaps then they could force Gambit down to the eco. That's the only way Gambit can keep them affording to buy is if they save weapons, rather, unless they start winning out some more rounds here. So yeah, they'll look again to try and bounce back immediately. They have most of what they could want on the buy, maybe lacking a few nades on Shiro, but overall it's decent. As things again don't get really swapped up much by Winstrike. The nade this time thrown in towards the jump peak. Thankfully, Nafani was around that area, but he had actually just stopped jump peaking, so pretty fortunate he doesn't take too much damage from that, only 8 in total, so not too substantial. But yeah, this time Winstrike, they don't move it back. The last couple times they got the kill here towards B and then moved it back to start getting control around A. This time, not getting the frag, they decide to just stick in place. They've still a lot of time, of course. It'll be interesting to see now what they actually do with it. Is it just looking maybe to be that straight up hit? I believe the bomb, though, at the moment is left above connector. Yeah, I think they've sent Alien back to get it, realizing that it being left behind.
It's odd that we've gotten this long into the round. It's rare that we've gotten this long into the round without a pick coming through of any variety. Shiro has cleared out of the punch space towards bathroom, so they should have a pretty good idea of where this positioning is, right? You've got the player in connector. No one's coming connector. At this point, Shiro's gone all the way through bathroom, so they brought the third player on towards site. Hobbit, he's going to be smoked out, but the pressure's definitely going to be coming this way. Good Molotov. That should whittle down the smoke. So Hobbit will have a chance to make an impact play here on the back line. They're boosting up over. They're going for that barrels boost. Winters could be exposed to it, and he's going to get shot in the head. That's a big kill to find. Hobbit wasn't there for the backstab. Is he going to be able to find it now? No, he's caught out by another smoke. Nafani is alone. He's found one. Axile's there to support from heaven. And they may have just pushed this back just enough. Huge second kill for Nafani. No time to back off of this. They're going to save. You can't rotate here. You can't get back on the site. Oh, Alien will get one final kill, but he's traded. And so it's just going to be Nickelback surviving. Winstrike, once again, cannot pull ahead too far. Gambit instantly dragged them back down into the dirt.
And they don't really have the help, of course, of having those saved over weapons. Sure, they have the one Galil carried over by Nickelback, but that's not going to be incredibly useful when he also didn't have... Well, he did have enough to actually drop a rifle, but he wanted the nades for himself, I believe. So he decided to just keep a little bit of money in the reserve. I maybe would have preferred if he gave an AK over to one of his teammates, because then they could have got the extra nades anyway, do you get me? And it would have worked out on a relatively similar level with slightly better firepower maybe, but we'll see how it goes. They still have a decent body here, but they have Axile peeking in on mid. I was about to say he's been playing fantastically, but he's only able to get that one. Some good damage, at least on the back of it as well, towards Nickelback. But a 4-on-4, I don't think Winstrike are going to be unhappy rather with the trade that they were able to find there in the opening moments. Especially as we know, with Gambit playing pretty passive now around the rest of the A bomb site, they can start moving forward for the control. I specified around A though. It turns out on B, they were being a lot more aggressive.
Double push out monster, and they catch the player outside of Con. That's huge. Big kill to come through, and you can see Winstrike are panicking. They're going back to try and secure this position because they know someone could be deep. So now they got to spend a lot of time clearing this. They split up their forces. They've got Nickelbacks, or sorry, Alien still in towards the bathrooms. And these two players to babysit the bomb. That's a lovely smoke. Bounces off of the top train rail. It doesn't give you a lot of information about where a player is, which is huge. Because that smoke can be thrown for back on site, you don't know that there's a guy watching Monster. I love that. You don't see a lot of teams throw it that way. But that's a nice detail, just to give away no information. It's a player tucked up behind Optimus, but Alien's trying to make his way through. He hasn't found anyone yet. Who sees who first? Long's clear. Okay. The rotation. Oh, he's down and dusted. Meanwhile, his teammates are making a move on. There's only one player to deal with, and they found the kill. Inters dropped. Bomb will be planted, but... Oh, Nickelback. He's all alone. He gets no help. He's down to 7 health off of the nade, and he's blinded walking into the pillar. Bullied. Bludgeoned. Beaten down into the dirt. And Gambit back in the lead.
Yeah. No, that was just great nades right there in the end anyway to make sure he wasn't going to be getting off of the bomb site. The flash, as you said, he was completely blind. They're just hugging the pillar. And it wasn't his friend, unfortunately, in that case. It blocked them from getting to safety. 12-11. Gambit, yeah, they've got the lead. We had mentioned a couple rounds back it was getting very important with the economy being so fragile for both sides, and it ends up being Winstrike who are eventually the ones who get forced down onto that eco. Nickelback has bought up because he had a bit of spare money, but it is just that. He had some spare money. He'll get 2,400 in the next round, which will give him just about enough to buy. He will be lacking nades unless they're maybe able to get a bomb plant and perhaps a few kills for himself. But we'll see. I mean, they have a bit invested into this round. You can't completely count Winstrike out of it. They do look to try and move around B early on, nothing too crazy. I mean, this is what we've been seeing from them on most rounds. The question is, what will they do after they get this B water control? Because Gambit, I mean, they've challenged it once or twice, I think, but even then it was only really with the op peeking in from around short mostly, so they've been willing to give this up, and they've been pretty comfortable back on the bomb sites. At least when there's not nades in play. We've seen those be in a bit of trouble. Oh, we might
We're gonna have the boost up again. See if they can't catch that barrel player. This time, no one's set up for it, and I think actually Nafani might be looking to punish it. Can't quite flick around on it just yet, but here's going to be the hop. They're trying to make that hero AK work. The great thing about doing it on this boost is if he dies, his gun conveniently drops right down onto the base player.
Watch us somehow fly into the sky and then into the B site or something. Just because you said that. The game will just glitch out. Nah, he's not getting a chance, unfortunately, at the moment either. Yeah, they seem to have kind of given up on it at this point. Had to. There's only 45 seconds left, just under that now. And they're going to start moving back. They want to try and bring it over towards A. An AK, a P250, and some Glocks to try and do some damage right now. And for the moment, it's Axile and also Shiro. So, I mean, two incredibly difficult players to deal with, even when you have your rifles, let alone when you're mostly stuck towards these pistols. But let's see, Shiro does eventually catch that first player. Falls back to the 5-7. His teammate's actually far back on long, so he doesn't have to help in terms of firepower, but he can do it all on his own with just the help of that one flash coming through. Axel eventually is like, man, I want a little bit, and he's like, fine, you can have one. 13-11 though, Gambit, up by 2.
There's the Shiro explosion round. We've now seen 2 of those. The one he didn't quite get because he didn't go for the bomb plant. Didn't have the chance for the full push. This time it's 5-7, mow down. Obviously unarmored opposition, they're not that tough, but still. That kind of work with a pistol is always a good showing. It hurts if you're Winstrike. You've made such a run of this. Now it feels like that gap's starting to widen once more. But the guns are back out, and they haven't gotten out of hand just yet. Damn it, they're still mortal. They're still attainable. So close to being able to take this to Vertigo. Just 5 more rounds. All you need. Let's see if Winstrike can manage it. There's the jump peek here. It's been spotted, but not punished. Almost looked like it was going to be. A lot of information found, and there's the damage coming in from Hobbit. Opens the door and connector. It was actually blown off for him. I love that play. And it catches the player broadside. Bondic wasn't in position to punish it either. He's going to try and come up and hunt it. But he's actually just going to lose his life. He thought Hobbit went forward, but no. Hobbit backed up the steps. Now it's 2 bodies for the price of 1. Huge problems here for Winstrike now. 2 players down. Barely any utility. 2 smokes, a single flashbang, and still Axile out by the bathrooms and no one in position to clear him as time starts to whittle down here, Dean. This is dire.
Yeah, they need to make a move quickly. Axile actually takes a bit of a peek in. That gives them an opening now. I believe it's only Shiro on the actual A bomb site around Optimus. Indeed it is. No, sorry, it's actually Nafany. Not both players moving in from long, and will actually catch it at first. Managed to then tuck back in, and at this point is wasting good time. There's also the flank coming up through connector. That should be enough. Alien, though, slashes the second, taps the bomb to look to see if he can take the fight towards Bang. But as he scopes up, they decide not to peek this time, though they will. He knows where the last player is. Tries a jump and no scope, because why the hell not? And he may even give us another one. No, he misses, unfortunately. Alien falls just short of the clutch, and that would have been huge. We've already seen one massive clutch coming in for Winstrike off of Bondic, of course. It doesn't seem like they're going to be enough, though, because, yeah, 14-11 now for Gambit. Without the bomb plant as well, there's not quite enough for the full buy for Winstrike, so good chance that Gambit are going to be heading up the map and serious point before we really see the rifles coming back out. Obviously, there's a bit for them to work with here. 3 SMGs, a couple of Tech 9s. Nickelback's actually fully invested, so they have put quite a bit into this round.
They're going for the double eco. Unless they get a bomb plan. Right? Alien saves for the AWP. But they're gonna play for overtime if they don't get this, and if they don't get a plant. I think is the idea here. That's gonna be tough. Look at the nades. Oh, that's chunky. Bond it, drop down to half. Prison tickle, that couldn't have been better timed. Inters dancing around the pillar, and oh, it's just all falling apart. This is a great setup to deal with this particular bit of aggression. We've seen Gambit stack heavy towards B round after round, and this is the round where it really pays off for them. You prevent that fast B play from coming through. They're just going to try and find some sort of space to work with the SMGs on towards site, but Hobbit's not going to allow it to him. Hobbit will allow them nothing. 3 kills in total on the round for the veteran. A match point found. Match point. Series point found for Gambit as they look to finish off the 2-0 to polish off Winstrike here on Overpass.
Yeah, I mean, they have obviously 4 chances to put a close to it, but they have at least the next 2 of those being gun rounds, so it is going to be a pretty difficult task for Winstrike. If they manage to take the first 2 in a row at that point, then Gambit would have to just take 1 eco, and then it'd be the one dividing them between taking it to overtime or the victory for Gambit, of course. So, I mean, it's definitely doable. We're actually getting a replay right now of that moment you were talking about. We don't actually get to see the tap on the bomb from Shiro, but yeah, we just have a few highlights popping up. But yeah, as I was saying, it is going to be pretty much 3 of the 4 rounds are actually going to be gun rounds for Gambit. Just because they were able to take that previous one with 4 players surviving, so it gave them enough really to build up 130 by at least. So yeah, Winstrike, they need to wake back up. We've seen it from them a couple of times. We've seen it at one point on Train. They were doing poorly, down 6-1 at one point. They woke up for a few rounds and managed to take them relatively convincingly. Obviously, for quite a while, they woke up here on Overpass as well, but they've lost the control again. Are they able to come back and get those 4 rounds? That's what we're wondering. We're going to find out, of course, guys. And so it looks like we're going to have a pretty quick fight taken in towards long as well. It's actually Axile who's committed out in towards the long bathrooms with the AUG, but he finds 2 of them moving up, including the bomb. Although he was flashed over then by his teammate to take the follow-up peek, it actually didn't blind Alien. But they can be happy enough to just fall back with the man advantage. How did that nade through so much? That landed his feet. For a second, I thought that landed on the other side of the rock, yeah. But yeah, right at his feet.
For rock.
Absolutely.
That's a
fantastic.
Perfect lineup.
Even without the nade damage, they were still in a great spot.
They were. Axile was like the one player this game you do not want to test if you don't have to. He's 24-17. He stepped up massively for them. He's been that difference maker for the team. And we're seeing it. And now they've got a great position. They've got Nafany playing by divider. He'll hear any footsteps in towards bathrooms. He can get the punish if they come around the long way. That gives Shiro some comfort to play around with the smoke in bathrooms itself. Obviously, he'll have to fade away as that comes off, but he'll be able to take whatever spot he wants. And with that smoke long, that's maybe a good indicator. I mean, they know that at least one player's there. It's actually the triple boost. Okay, Alien. Change up the formula. Change the math entirely. And that's the way that you're going to get the big kill to open up this site. Molly down low from Nafany. It may not much matter. 25 seconds. They have to go now. They don't have the luxury of waiting. They have to make this happen, and reinforcements are here. Whoa, not the kill, though. Crizin, he's low on health. There's the second as well. They're trying to force this. They're getting too uncomfortable. This bomb has to be planted, and it still has to transition. They don't realize there's a 3rd player here. He could win it on time. He's got it on the spray. Hobbit, the transfer. 3 kills found. What a play from Hobbit.